Now, a little more about the big change that is coming when it comes to vapes. Now, of course, Australians have given up, generally speaking, on smoking, but there are those of us that are still stupid enough to do it. But the big fear about vaping is that it is a brand new generation of people that are learning how to put something in their system that's terrible, that's not natural, and therefore it must be banned.
We have legislation before the Parliament today, which will be debated in the Senate when we go back to Canberra in a couple of weeks, that seeks to ban the sale and the supply of these products.
But then they decided not to ban the sale of these products because it was a way of getting something that the Greens wanted. Now, of course, the Greens, they don't want to disappoint the young people, especially the ones that love a good old vape, that can, you know, do the double dragon and the smoke rolls and all the rest of it. No, the young people, and they vote Green, so they wanted it to be still having some action. Sure, not, you know, lovely apple and cinnamon scrolls and whatever the other flavours are that some bloke will sell you underneath the counter. So, of course, you are now going to be available to get your vapes.
This is a significant amendment that we will be proposing to the Senate, but one that very much keeps faith with the original intention of our reforms, which are to wipe out the recreational vaping market, to wipe this out from retail settings and to return this product to its original intention.
We're just making it up as we go. This is a really good thing to do. This is a really good thing to do. $50,000, terrible. $200,000, great. Good luck keeping up with any of this. Of course, the expectation is that you don't. That, you know, you're just walking around, counting down to the next big footy game, distracted by whatever song you've just heard, flashing out of a fast fashion shop. But for the rest of us who've got something between our ears, you've got more than I do, we know. Mine's mostly cholesterol. But you are able to see and able to remember that they said something completely different. But that's not the real thing that I want to focus on, because as you know, we're going from the vape shops, which basically will be being shut down as soon as the 1st of July, and the place where you will be able to get a wide array of flavours. It'll be nicotine, mint or menthol, and that place will be your friendly chemist. Yes, the thing that kind of works like a cigarette, but because it's not a cigarette, it's now a way of getting off cigarettes, but it's still got nicotine and it still produces smoke, which means technically the person sitting next to you wouldn't really like it as much as if I was sitting there with a Cohiba. Anyway, follow along as you will. Now, we put some calls in today to the Health Minister's office, and geez, weren't they happy that it was us calling? Now, I don't know whether code names were used and whether this program was announced or whether they had to go, it's someone from Sky News. Can we just ask a quick question? Who knows? But we did get something out of them, which is, OK, how does this system work? Because under the new system, after October of this year, you won't need a prescription anymore. You just present yourself as if you're buying the cold and flu tablets, and you go, oh, hang on, hang on, once I've got me, hang on, I think, yeah, there it is, there's me driver's licence. Yeah, two packs, thank you, I'm feeling a bit. So apparently, how does this work now when it comes to the vapes? Well, as I say, we called the Health Minister's office, and this is the best that we can work out. You can buy a month's worth of vapes at any one time. But here's the fun bit. How do you work out how much is a month's worth of vapes that you'll be able to get from your local chemist? Well, of course, that's all in the eye of the beholder. You see, apparently the way that this is going to work is that you, customer, will go to the chemist and you will tell the chemist how much you would normally smoke if it was a cigarette or a cigar or pouch tobacco or all the rest of it, right? That's the plan. In fact, the actual quote we have from the Health Minister's spokesperson was, this is limited to a 1 month supply dependent on the person and their current nicotine intake. It's a limit on the nicotine concentration and also the quantity. So, OK. Now, smoking bad, right? Smoking bad, smoking terrible, advocating it on television, really naughty, right? Health department got in touch with us and said that, posters, get rid of it, OK? I am not advertising smoking. So let's just pluck a number, right? let's say I have a cigar a day, all right? So a cigar a day, 30 days, 31 days equals 1 vape, 2 vapes, because the hit of the tobacco is a little different than somebody who might be having a packet of cigarettes, or somebody who's having a packet of cigarettes a day, or 2 a week, or a carton a month. I don't know. But obviously there'll be, 3 vapes for you. This is how the system will work. Now, there's no way you will have to prove that you are somebody who is a carton a week or a packet a day or a 30 cigars a month person, and you will end up with the vapes. And do you know an extra thing that's amazing on top of this system? You don't have to pay any tax. So if you purchase any of those existing tobacco products, of course, you pay tax. It'll be going up again, I think, 1st of September. 3 times a year they put it up. Why? Because they want to make you give up because it's too expensive. It's called a price disincentive, you see, which is why they keep putting the tax up. So eventually you go, look, I'd really like one, but geez, it's expensive. All right, give it up. But now you can go to the chemist telling them that you're a pack a day, a carton a fortnight, make up a number. You don't have to prove it. There's no way to prove it. And you will end up getting X amount of vapes. And you can have your selection, whether it's going to taste like tobacco or it's going to taste like mint or menthol, their choice. All of these, of course, have to be stored somewhere, which means someone may start to target your local chemist when they've currently been targeting your local tobacconist. But who knows? This is the Greens' idea. This is the great idea about how to deal with this system. And there's no tax. So even if you're somebody who absolutely loathes tobacco, like 90% of the country that doesn't smoke, and gets the Harry hits when someone like me will light up somewhere and you put that stick smell. Well, of course, the taxation that comes through each and every year is the best part of what, 10, 11, 12, 14 billion dollars that exclusively comes out of the taxes that people pay who smoke tobacco. Now, of course, that means that money goes back in and you end up with a federal budget surplus, which is what they currently have. Or, I might dangerously say, you are well and truly paying for your and 4 other people's eventual interaction with the health system. But under this amazing new idea, no tax, no limit, no proof, just ask, and you could end up with enough vapes to get you through the month and maybe a few spare that I will predict some dodgy people will end up selling on a new black market. Equally so. Just questions I don't know, and nobody. Why have any details about this? Are we picking one company that makes these things now? If so, we'd like to know so we can all buy the shares, right? I'd love to know, is it 2 or 3 companies, or are we basically handing the Australian non-tobacco smoking market to one company? And if so, which company? And how was this negotiated? And has this been decided? Or will this just be decided and one day we'll read about it 4 months after it's happened? Now, again, I think there is a sensible solution here, which is the use of vapes, but I believe that they should be regulated like tobacco is, and it should be taxed like tobacco is. It can be sold in the same places and obviously in the same way that the law currently exists, that no one under the age of 18 can purchase them. But yes, are there times? Yes, of course, there's times where it happens. But you need to have massive penalties and massive enforcement. But instead, under the Labor policy, which has gone from full banning to make up how much nicotine you normally smoke, and the chemist has to give you a month's worth and you declare how much the month is worth of nicotine. Nothing to see here. Nothing at all. Now, of course, for the Greens, they think it's all about harm minimisation.
Using vapes won't be criminalised. That will help keep it out of the police and court system, make it a health issue. You'll be able to buy vapes via a pharmacist, after having a conversation with a pharmacist.
But then, ironically, one of the people who's going to be voting for the legalisation or this sort of permission system and the make up the numbers as you go along will, of course, be Senator Hanson-Young, who we know hates vaping for a perhaps different reason than the people who used to hate vaping.
We know there's a lot of pollution because of vaping.
Wow. And she gets 6 years in the Senate every time she gets re-elected. What a hateful and misogynistic thing for him to say. Or sometimes we just can laugh with you, always with you, Senator.